All right. Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Diamond Rivera of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast. And tonight we are definitely going to have an amazing artist tonight. But before we get started, this episode is sponsored by Chata Radio, where you can listen to this interview in high quality. As well, just letting you know with Chata Radio, we have a new venture. We are going to be having merchandise on the platform, and also 10% of all the profits will be going to the Wounded Warriors Project, dedicated to former veterans that have been wounded during combat. And this is definitely a great cause, and more information will be on the way. Link will be on below at the description. But tonight, people, we here have an amazing artist coming onto the platform tonight. From the Island Touch Dance Company, we have the one and only, all the way right now from Dominican Republic, the one and only Miss Bianca Derival.
Hello.
Oh,
Happy Sunday.
happy Sunday indeed. I see right now you're in the beautiful Dominican Republic.
I am in the Dominican Republic. It has been a crazy experience here. So, for everyone that doesn't know, the lights might go out. But if it does, we just gonna keep it moving, right?
Absolutely.
Keep it going.
As they say in
We're gonna find a way.
in Dominican Republic, as they say, se fue la luz. So we got to keep the show going. Bianca, man, I honestly, like I've told you privately as well, I'm so thankful that I can have you on tonight, because as well as you're performing, as well as the ventures you've been doing, especially with the Queen movement recently that you've been a part of, I've been so thankful that I have these opportunities to talk to artists like yourself, because I really love to have people understand the artists for what they do just as much as they do on stage, but also off.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a super pleasure. Thank you for everyone that's watching. I'm super excited. Yeah, and thank you for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
You've been bringing a lot of artists, a lot of photographers and just people that are in the artistic area, allowing them to come onto your podcast and share a lot about themselves is very, very special. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I mean, myself as an artist, as a creative, I think it's important whether you're a photographer, videographer, performer, stagehand, whatever have you. I think everyone has a voice, and
Yeah.
everyone should have the opportunity to kind of speak their truth, honesty, and transparency. And at least today, we have this opportunity. As well as you said, you're in Dominican Republic right now, enjoying that beautiful weather, hopefully out there. But we have the time tonight, and I also want to thank Mr. Rudy Lopez helping out with the lighting, making sure everything is as good as it can be. You know,
Yes. He's always got my back when it comes to the lighting and the this and the that. I mean, for anyone that knows El Tigre, he wears many hats, and helping set up certain things for live streams is one of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, even now as we speak, as well as on Facebook, we are available right now watching on YouTube and also on tubakshotaradio.com. And even right now, I don't know if you can see right now, we already have over 60 people watching right now because they're so interested in knowing who Bianca is, what Bianca's about, and we're definitely going to get started on that. So, you probably have seen in many of my episodes, I love asking the artist because we know what you've been able to do recently and presently. But I think it's so important understanding how it all started. But also, before we get started, during the interview, we'll be having real live comments coming in. For example, all the way from LA, DJ Carlos,
Carlos! Hey,
as well.
Carlos!
Yes, and as well,
DJ Amesqua.
I think
Portia, that's my sister. That's my older sister. Hey, babe, thank you for watching and always supporting me.
Yes, it's love here, and as well. Before we really do get started, somebody's speaking right there.
My boo boo. I love you, babe.
you know, and this is just a small token of love and appreciation And we'll definitely get more comments coming in, but let's get started. I'd love to know, Bianca, kind of take us back of where your beginnings came from before you got into dance.
Okay, so before dance, before Latin dance, I'm gonna start there. So when I was little, my sisters and I have a twin sister. Her name is Clemens, and Portia, an older sister. We just used to love watching Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Aaliyah, and all these amazing artists dance on television, whether it's concerts or music videos. And I'm pretty sure, she can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it was our older sister that would have my twin sister and I get together, and we would just learn the choreos. We would learn Beat It from Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson's videos, NSYNC. We were huge NSYNC fans. So it all kind of, yeah. In terms of like dance, it all kind of started there. We would just be in the living room watching those videos and learn the choreography. Pretend like we were one of Janet's backup dancers, the three sisters. So I grew up dancing hip hop. After that, I started to take hip hop classes. I did a little bit of ballet, tap, and lyrical. I probably did that for like 2 years. Continued with hip hop because I just loved hip hop. And then going into middle school, I decided to just kind of get back into lyrical to kind of broaden my dance background. So I did that for a couple years. And then in high school, I just remember wanting to be like on the dance line, kick line team, which was like a funk team in high school. And then the kick line was like the Rockettes, like you see the Rockettes kicking and stuff like that. So I remember my twin sister and I trying out for that team. We made the first cut, but the second cut, we didn't make it. So we were like really upset about that. We're like, what else can we do? Maybe we should try something different. So we decided to do cheerleading. I'm saying we a lot because the three of us, we just did a lot of the same things growing up. So I became a part of our cheerleading squad when I was in 10th grade. And I did that until I graduated high school. That was an absolutely amazing experience. After high school, I went to college. In college, we didn't have like a super well-known hip-hop dance company there, but after I joined the company called Phenomena, it started to grow. We started doing more performances. A lot of myself and the other members on the teams would just get together and try and see what we could do to help grow the team. So I started doing that. I did that all 4 years in college as well. My last year in college, I remember coming home for Christmas break, and I was skeptical about getting a job or not. I'm like, should I get a job? It's only like a month and a half, and then I'm going to go back to school. So my twin sister, she was working a couple jobs at the time. And when I came home, she's like, hey, our mom took me to this little like Latin spot, and I want you to come with me. I'm like, okay. Granted, at the time in college where I personally went, I was super into reggae. Everything for me was reggae, soca, and like I wanted to just go to Webster Hall in New York for any of the New Yorkers that know Webster Hall. You go down into the basement. That was my kind of cup of tea at the time. But my sister, my lovely sister, was like, all right, since you're not going to be working during your break, here's what's going to happen. Throughout the day, you're going to stay home, cook and clean. I'm going to go to work. And then when I get home, we're going to go to this Latin spot because I really want you to check it out. I'm going to pay for you. You have to dance with as many people as I pay for you to get in. So say it was like a club cachet, $11 at the time.
Yeah.
I'd have to dance with 11 people. And then after that, we would go and do whatever I wanted, which at the time was Webster Hall. I kind of skipped over on how, or went into more so like how I got into the Latin dancing, but that's really pretty much what I was doing before Latin dance, and my sister really got me into dancing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I mean, as you said earlier, Webster Hall, many people in New York know, was a premier place for parties. I love that you had that interest in reggae, especially. I know you're Haitian and Trinidadian, so you have those
Yeah.
Caribbean roots. Many people who don't know, and I think as well, people have to understand whether it's salsa, bachata, all of those Caribbean aspects all intertwine in some way with music. Music helps people connect with one another. So whatever style you're dancing, if your body's moving, I think you're doing the right thing. And I've definitely been to some of those parties out there in Webster Hall, so I definitely know how.
You already know.
So that's interesting too. That your sister was the one kind of saying the bargaining chip. I'm going to pay for you to come. But as much as the admission is, and I remember times it was 11, 15, maybe 20 at times, those are the many people you had to dance with. I love how that little story started. My question now is, when you started going to these socials and these little parties that your sister would take you to, was it an immediate, like, wow, this piques my interest? Or was it kind of over time you started to gain some interest to it?
It took me a little bit. It was very overwhelming for me at first because especially like she didn't take me to a veranda, right? Where it's kind of like people are just not it's on a Monday, not that many people are there. It's kind of chill. She took me to cachet on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So that, for anyone that may not know, is like you have the best of the best salsa dancers in New York just there jamming out, and it was a lot. It was scary for me. I used to be like, I don't want to spin, I don't want to dance, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So it took me a while to grow into it, but it really all started for me that year when I came home from college. I went to the New York Salsa Congress. I remember it being 2011. Yes, it was 2011. And I I really just went to spend time with my sister and like the people that she met in the scene at the time. And she made me take a couple classes. So I think at the time I only took 2 classes. I took Griselle Ponce's class, which was absolutely amazing because I feel like in her class there was just this beautiful calmness. I felt like I was like floating on the ocean in her class. It was crazy. And then the second class she had me take was a bachata class with Island Touch. Yes, so we did that. And I remember the last night, it was a Sunday night at the New York Salsa Congress. I was just walking around by myself, and I walked into the bachata room, and I was kind of just like looking around, seeing what people were doing, kind of taking everything in because I still wasn't super like, oh, this is what I really want to get into this. I really want to do this. I wasn't there at the time. I just thought it was amazing that people are just social dancing. No one's on their phone, which was absolutely great to see. Vibing out and having an awesome time. So I go into the bachata room.
Hold on. I think we have lost a
The
little bit of.
bachata room.
I think you're
Did I
good.
lose you?
I think we're good.
Okay. The real tropical experience.
Oh, yeah.
So Island Touch was hosting the bachata room that year at the New York Salsa Congress, and El Tigre played this one song, and I'm just standing there looking at everyone, and I legit just explain it as me having an outer body experience, like just hearing this song and watching everyone dance, and the vibe was absolutely crazy. Um, that's what really got me into being like, I need to do this. I want to learn the song and the vibe in that particular room. So it took a little bit of time, but
Wow, that's amazing because kind of a foreshadowment of years later, literally 10 years later, seeing where you are now, doing what you're doing, it shows just determination and progression. But even going back to that understanding of with your sister, I believe it was Clemens that was taking you there. Just a note, I remember seeing Clemens dancing, especially in New York back in those days, as well as her work with Elvis Collado, and phenomenal dancer. And I definitely actually remember her taking you to socials, Club Gaucher and other places. So I remember seeing you, and you definitely were shy. I remember you kind of, there was Clements, and then she had her sister with you. And so, I mean, to see that, her bringing you along and you gained that interest, and big shout out to Atigre, because realizing too, back then, if people didn't realize, bachata wasn't big in New York like that.
mm-hmm.
2010, 11, I think that bachata room was pretty small. So, and it was just starting out, and realizing DJs
Yeah.
like the Tigre that was coming out and pushing out this music and bringing those vibes in that atmosphere. What it did was inspire artists like yourself now. Realizing when you felt that vibe, it felt like, wow, this is something I want to come back to. And that's great to
Mm-hmm.
see. It took that one moment that kind of really changed your life. So from taking classes, from going to the social, fast forwarding in the sense of now understanding, was Island Touch, because I also remember you were doing work with Island Touch in DC when you were doing
Mm-hmm.
DC. Was Touch DC the first company you were a part of?
No. So it was actually, this is just connecting to the story before.
Mhm.
The next day after that Sunday that I had that out of body experience, um, I saw on Facebook that this bachata company was having auditions for their team. So I told Clem, my twin sister, I told her, I'm like, this company is having auditions. I told her about my experience, and I'm like, I think I'm going to go to the audition. And at the time, um, I was living on Long Island, which was like an hour drive back home. So I drove back home, got ready, and then went back to the city to go to auditions. The auditions was for New York Touch. So I went and auditioned for New York Touch at the end of 2011. The season was starting in 2012. I made the team, and that's really where I started with being on a team. At the time, Tigre was my director,
Mhm.
and he was partnered with Hannah. So I was doing that, New
Wow.
York, all day.
I remember New York Touch was definitely big, especially in New York, because that was one of the first times. Don't get me wrong; there may have been other schools or studios that had little bachata routines, but Island Touch at Tigre as well. Everyone intertwined in that company really brought something refreshing to New York, and really brought just something modern, something different. Because most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
bachata was at the home. You did it with your family, you danced a few songs, but now there was in a sense, an institution, a place you can go to learn and to actually socialize and network with other people that loved it as well. So definitely big shouts out to New York Touch. Definitely remember my boy Renee. Remember Sage. I remember so many people from New York Touch. Um,
Jose,
Jose Rivera, who now has Salsa Salsa.
Elvis, so
See?
many
Oh
people.
my God! Even yes, Elvis Rodriguez here. He even writes. I
I
remember
received
seeing
you.
he and Clem in the Thule socials in Long Island, and knew they were going to
Oh,
get.
Elvis,
Yeah,
I miss you.
and now understanding from New York Touch. How did you feel like your progression was kind of immediate, or was it kind of like trial and error?
Um, I am still growing.
Yeah.
Even from then, I'm still growing. I'm still training. There's still so many things that I want to learn. I've just been extremely fortunate to be able to travel the world with Ataca Alemana and Tigre. So I don't necessarily, I'm definitely not going to say that it kind of just stopped, and
Mhm.
I'm just still growing. Um, Something that's definitely um, that I definitely see within myself that's helped me is being more confident, being able to get out on stage, or even just go out and talk to people that I've never really talked to, socializing and whatnot. That's more so what I would say in terms of that. I'm still growing.
Yeah, I love that because many dancers that I've talked to as well have said you never stop growing. You never stop being a student of the game because you realize there's always something new to learn. As well, with Island Touch having that modern approach, that modern style to bachata, I think that was very infectious throughout because we've seen in Island Touch they have companies everywhere. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like just understanding that how much that company has inspired the world. I definitely see it through you, realizing that even now, at the level you are now, you're still saying there is so much more to go. There's so much more to grow from. I love that. So, from New York Touch, I think then you kind of made the transition to DC Touch. So, how did that come along?
Okay, so DC Touch, I wasn't I directed DC Touch.
Hmm.
Pretty much after New York Touch, after a couple years, Tigre was looking for someone to travel with, like, from time to time. And um, I remember being at the salsa room. He was like, I want to, like, kind of try this out. We do a routine, just do a couple gigs. I want you to think about it. I was like, there's nothing to think about. I'm just gonna, yeah, I want to do that. So, yeah, when he was directing New York Touch, Ataka and Alamana were directing DC Touch. And then it came a time, I believe it was like really the travel schedule. Tigre started directing DC Touch. Now, because he was directing DC Touch at the time, and we more so started dancing a lot more together, I started directing DC Touch as well. And then
Mm.
I started the DC Ladies Bachata team. I did salsa for a little bit. So that's really how DC Touch and me kind of started.
Wow. And what year would you say that kind of started?
Um, okay, I want to say that was 2014. Anyone watching, don't be mad at me. You guys know that I'm bad with timeline. sometimes sometimes people on the team will be like, "No, it's been this long," and I'm like, I don't remember." I want to say it's been like it started 2014.
Wow.
I'm
And
like
just realizing,
almost
like you
sure.
said, it was kind of 2011 that you kind of got into it from your sister Clements, and then fast forwarding, now you're directing. And I think that's a really amazing understanding is realizing going from a teacher to then being, I mean, going from a student or a novice, just person like, wow, I just came to the social to now being a director. What is that like actually being a director?
Yeah, it was. Oh, okay. The real tropical experience.
I think we are able to hear. Let's see. Again, everybody, we are talking with Miss Bianca Derival, and she is all the way in Dominican Republic. I am loving the conversation we are having thus far, and we are working to get her back on. All right.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, I think she timed out real quick. We're definitely going to get her back on. Again, everyone, I am loving this conversation that we are having, realizing as well. And I think we have her. Let's see.
A
Let's see.
real tropical experience.
It's all good. It's all good.
And I can actually see you now. Before I wasn't able to see you.
Oh, wow. All right.
So,
But the question that I had earlier was, what was that experience like being a director?
it was challenging. It was exciting. It was fun. It definitely took me some time to kind of balance um not being too harsh of a director. I think because of my cheerleading, I was so anal with a lot of things. Um, but it in the end, it ended up just, or it is, because I'm still directing the teams now. It's just exciting. I absolutely love my teams. I have one in Tampa/Orlando and DC still. I'm still doing the DC teams, and sometimes we'll have a rehearsal and we won't even start until like 45 minutes later because we're just talking and catching up and laughing, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It was a little scary for me at first just because
Mhm.
I'm shy, but I would not trade that in for anything.
Man, that's beautiful. Just realizing the relationships that you uh, build and you make over time. I think it's really important because what happens is a lot of directors get lost in the financial parts of having a team and collecting dues, and a lot of them don't get an opportunity to actually just listen and talk with their students and realizing you're building a family and realizing years later these are the same people you'll see at events and socials and not realize how much you inspire them. So now my question is, you're now, of course, you're directing, and then really, I remember seeing you just start traveling now. Now you're kind of almost that full-time traveling mode. So what was that like kind of going from the humble beginnings in New York and DC to now traveling all over the world?
Um, it amazing. It was something that I never thought would really happen. I never imagined myself traveling the world and being able to teach, connect with so many different cultures, see the world, even just being able to travel with George, Tanya, and Thigade, being able to get to know each other even more. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm almost at a loss of words on how amazing it is. And in the beginning, it was nothing's easy at first. Just getting used to, all right, we're coming home on a Monday, and then we have Tuesday to do laundry, possibly get your nails done, do this, work, and then we get on a flight on Wednesday. So it's definitely a lot, but still such a beautiful and exciting experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just seeing you as well, then also not just the dancing part, but you taking that role. And because I still remember you at events and congresses and festivals, especially when it was Island Touch related, how involved you were in the actual event. From even to, I see Miss Amy Dominguez from Florida, one of my favorite artists.
Hey,
She has a comment,
hey, Sue.
and I'll read it quickly. It says, I always remember talking to Bianca DR, holding a clipboard in the hotel lobby. She was running around working at Bachatu. What business ethic have you learned working with Island Touch that you think is a key influence in a dancer's progress when it comes to managing your business as an artist?
Okay, let me read that one more time. Yes, I would be running around with a clipboard. What business? a business expert have you learned working with Iron Touch that you think is a key important to the dancer's progress when it comes to managing business as an artist? Definitely being organized. Organization is extremely important. I working with events and being an artist, I am, or all of us, we're extremely picky in a sense with how our like certain things are managed.
Yeah.
If there is a specific spreadsheet or application that we use that is kind of just not working to suit our needs, right? To make us feel 100% comfortable and relaxed as we're trying to travel and do this and teach classes and whatnot, then we just try and find something that works for you. So I say at the end of the day, just try and be as organized as possible. I'm super big on spreadsheets, applications with that will just help manage your time, flights, if anyone needs any advice on certain apps and stuff to use, hit me up. TripIt is absolutely amazing. Yeah, organization is honestly key.
I love it. I love it. But I would say this, an added one is patience. Patience is a very, yes. Because don't get me wrong, Bianca, I've been to the events that you guys have held and been a part of. And I love that you guys can be patient. Because when it's a difference when hundreds of people are dealing with one person rather than one person dealing with hundreds of people.
Yes.
And different, there's always there are different inquiries, different concerns, different comments, different questions. So I would definitely say I love all of your patience and realizing, especially you, when your people are going to come to you when they see you and ask you just tons of questions, hoping that you have the answer to everything. And seeing what you've been able to do is nothing short of remarkable, and I absolutely love it. And now, kind of fast forwarding in a sense of, throughout the years, seeing you being able to perform or going from the social setting to going from learning to do choreos to then directing to now really becoming part of the faces of the company and representing it worldwide, and seeing, honestly, especially from yourself and people like Alemana, especially with women. For me, I love the focus of female empowerment, especially in our industry, because I think as well, and I'm going to be totally honest, in our industry, they love to see the women, but it's hard for them to appreciate them because they love what they can do on stage. But I think it's so much more important to understand that the women that are on these stages are representations, no matter the size, the color, even the hair texture. And what I mean by that, to see a woman like yourself, like Susan, like Alemana, a woman of color, just having grace, having poise, um, and just oozing femininity. I love it because with the class and sophistication that all of you women have and being able to represent, I think is truly special.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's
Really appreciate that.
and now what I really want to touch on, because I know it's crazy out there in DR and anything can happen, but what I really want to touch on quickly is, how did the Queen movement come about?
So Queen movement, Kate and I started discussing it around April. So it
Mhm.
really started like during quarantine, you know, just being able to sit down and think about, all right, we're not traveling, we're not really having to talk to promoters about booking this and booking that. So what can we do right now in the moment? So an online dance company actually contacted us, or contacted us to see if maybe we'd be interested in joining together and doing something super dope. So with just Caitlin's personality, she's so open, she's so chill, she's so empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And mine as well. We just wanted to create more so a movement opposed to just classes, more so like a space where people can feel empowered regardless of whatever ethnicity, gender, anything, right? That's really just how it started. It wasn't hi Teresa, hope you're feeling better. Rest up, girl. Um Representation matters. Thank you. Yeah, so I lost my train of thought. We wanted to create just a movement where people just feel empowered.
Yeah.
Especially with the quarantine, there are a lot of people that are just like, I don't know, have come to me personally and been like, I don't know what to do on my day to day. This is crazy, just like all out of whack. And I'm like, I want to be able to help these people, any way that I can, that she can, any way that we can. So yeah, we like to focus on wellness through dance, meditation, just
Mm.
positive affirmations. We do like a queen of the week just to shine some light on our followers that show us love, or people that are just like, we've had people write us like, I'm just struggling this week. And we're like, we just want people to feel empowered,
Wow.
regardless of if it's a female or a male.
Absolutely, absolutely, and realizing too, like you touched on, especially last year with quarantine, with COVID, realizing the events that we were going to around January, February, March time, especially early, we kind of really took them for granted because they all kind of just stopped in one fell swoop, one day from the next. And I loved and I appreciated what you, Island Touch, the Queen Movement, and all of the female, male, and artists in general were contributing, because realizing now without events, without Congress and festivals for a long time, people really didn't know what to do. They needed to find an outlet. So realizing people like yourself that were giving something back to the community. And I think that was amazing, because that's what people like us look for, is our leaders. What are they doing for us? And seeing people like Island Touch, seeing people like yourself really giving back to the community through dance, through wellness, through meditation, what have you, and realizing how important that is and how it helps people's mental and physical and emotional wellness. I mean, that's something you can't take for granted. And seeing how consistent that you've been able to be. And honestly, especially the work you've been doing with Caitlin Rodriguez, as well as Susan out
Shout
there.
out to Kate.
Yes, her and Susan, the work you guys have been doing out there, and the collaborations. I think that's also most important. Is seeing is that even with Island Touch, them be able to collaborate with many different artists, and also give some, just some joy to dancers and people like myself who look forward to seeing the new projects that you have coming. And at
Thank
least,
you.
before we get into the segment that I call the randoms, which is definitely a segment I love that helps me understand the guests a little bit better, I would like to know is, just with everything you've been to understand over the years and coming now, where do you see the future of the dance community from this point?
Ah, hopefully back to where it was before, but 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I see a lot of new artists coming in the future. A lot of new artists coming in. A lot of people just being a lot more mindful of
Hmm.
others. Um, because throughout this quarantine, with you doing your podcast and people being able to maybe do lives a little bit more, or post on social media a little bit more, or even just message someone, have a conversation with a fan or a friend, you're really, or we're really getting to communicate a lot more with others because of the time, so I can't really say where I think it's going to be in the future, but I'm hoping it is going to be bigger and better and extremely positive, with new talent and everyone that's been, helping the scene grow already.
Absolutely. And especially touching on something that Teresa said earlier with inclusivity and representation. And I think also with the podcasts that I do, with the projects that you're doing and other artists, I think too, promoters and organizers of different events now are really going to be tuning into what dancers really want and realizing hopefully when things get back to a normal state that we can have events. I tell you this, the first really big major event that everyone is really feeling comfortable to go to, people are going to be dancing nonstop. That's one thing I already, yeah. I don't even think people are going to want to see performances. People just want to social dance that whole night. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, just being able to even talk to you for these moments, feeling understanding of where you started, you giving a glimpse of your life before dance, during it, and presently, and seeing what you want for the future. I love it because of your honesty, your
Thank you.
transparency. Because again, I think many people get it misconstrued that the people you see on stage, there's more to them what they just do on stage. So
100%.
yeah, just being able to speak to you tonight has been awesome because even as we're speaking earlier, and even too, you had the Flow Dominicano event online, giving back to the community. Like at the end of the day, you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. And again, I appreciate you, Island Touch, and the whole collective of artists that are really focused on giving back to the community, no matter what. And now it
Thank you
helps
so
me
much.
uh, come now to the segment that I have called the randoms, which is just about 10 random questions that allow myself and the audience to get to know you a little bit better. So all I need to know is when you are ready.
I'm ready.
All right. All right. Number one, favorite food.
Italian all day,
All
every
right.
day.
Italian, but what dish? Like close your eyes, you open your eyes. What's that dish that's in front of you?
Carbonara.
Ooh, okay. I like it. I like it. All right.
But like
Next.
a special carbonara. Shout out to Bachata Day. Rita, I miss your carbonara.
All right, let's. Hopefully, I can. I see where you're going with this. I like it. All right, next question. What right now? If you can close your eyes, open your eyes. You're at a social. What social would that be?
um, a social or a congress?
You know what? I know a congress.
Chicago Salsa Bachata
Hey,
Festival.
SBF. I like it. I like it.
CSBF. I miss CSBF so much. I miss Chicago. I love Chicago. The people in Chicago are
Mm,
so amazing and so loving and so the feelings coming back.
I know. I know. Memory lane all over again. All right. Maybe this next question, I might you might have already answered it, but what would be or yeah, what would be your dream vacation destination?
My dream vacation. I would love to go to Hawaii. I would
Mm,
love to vacation in Hawaii.
okay. I'm assuming you
Yeah.
haven't been to Hawaii.
No, we were supposed to go
Mm,
in 2019,
mm.
but obviously with the pandemic that didn't happen, but we will definitely make that happen soon.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely see that
Hawaii.
happening in the future. All right, next question. What did you want to be at 10 years old?
A piano player.
Ooh. And I'm assuming you can play some piano there.
I played from 8 to 18.
Oh my. Yeah, that's like 10 years. You definitely got.
Yeah, 10 years I did play, but I haven't really been like, I've been trying to get back into it since the
Mhm.
start of quarantine. I just need to refocus my mind and really just do it because I do miss it.
Gotcha. All right. Next question. What's your spirit animal?
Um, a cat.
Oh, I like it. I like it. All right. Next question. And this is one I call maybe a spicy question. Would be what's a big don't that you don't like seeing from a person that you're social dancing with?
A big don't that I don't like seeing with a person that I'm actually social
Yeah.
dancing
You know,
with.
like when somebody's grabbing you to dance and they're just making this dance like you're just waiting for it to end.
Um, well, first, I would hope that someone's not just going to grab me to dance and ask me to dance.
Yes.
Um, honestly, kind of just breathing all up in my face.
Yeah. Like so like too close. Like we didn't ask for this closeness.
Yeah, yeah, like there needs to be, a distance. There needs to be respect, especially if I'm trying to push away and the person's like not getting it.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I think especially leads don't do everything you see on YouTube. Yeah. I love
She
the
said it.
I love it. You have that New York stare of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I mean, we definitely see eye to eye on that. All right. Next question would be what would be your superpower?
A vampire.
Oh,
I
is there
love
any reason?
vampires.
Wow, is there any reason why?
I just love vampires. They're fast. I just want to be fast.
Oh my god,
They live for a long time. They get to see the world and
that's
a
it.
vampire.
I'm assuming. So, a question on that is: were you a big Twilight fan then back in the days?
I'm sorry.
Were you like a Twilight fan?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Like rewatch Twilight, Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Wow.
all that.
Okay. I like that. I like that. All right. Next question. I love asking this because it definitely gets people like really thinking. Can you name three people that have been most influential to you at this point in your life? And it could be dance related or regular in general, but you can also bunch family together as well.
Okay, so definitely Atacan and Tigre. They're my family. They've been absolutely amazing since day one, since the day that I've met them. Extremely supportive. I look up to them so much in so many different ways. Um, just to be able to talk to them on a personal level, on a business level, and then them being so understanding of anything that I may ask or come with in terms of like dance. They're just words can't express because I miss them. I miss Atake and Alamana so much. But they inspire me every single day to become a better dancer, to become a better business woman, to read more, just the how different they are, but so combined together and how they mesh so well together. It's you'd have to see the three of them together to really just
Yeah.
sometimes I take a step back and I'm like, wow, you guys are awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. So you would say those people are as one. Do you feel like you
As
maybe
one,
okay.
yes. Of course, my sisters, Portia and Clem. Obviously, Clem is the reason why I'm here today. I can't thank her enough for pushing me. She pushes me every day. If I ever have an issue, she's the person that I call for every and anything. And then my older sister, she's just extremely supportive. She gives amazing advice. Again, extremely supportive. That would be two. And then the third would be my parents.
Hmm.
Definitely my mom and my dad. They owned a mortgage company pretty much like growing up, but with us starting in Brooklyn, just seeing how and hearing about how things were before, and then being able to actually really just push to do what they wanted to do and grow that to be as successful as they are, for us, for myself and my siblings, is really inspiring.
Amazing. All right. Next question. What is a special talent that many people wouldn't know you have?
A special talent. Oh man. Um, that's a hard one. A special
Mm.
talent. I want to almost say kind of playing the piano, but I definitely said before that I haven't been playing as much. um, yeah, I'm a good multitasker. That's a special talent.
There you go. Because we know that there are many people that it's hard for them to do two things at once. So
Yeah.
I got to give that one to you. So multitasker for the win. And the last one, and I love this question. Let me just tell you, Rudy, Atakalemana have definitely answered this question amazing, and I know you will too. It's called the island question, and it goes like this: if you're on an island, and disclaimer, you do not have Wi-Fi, what are three things that you would have to have with you?
On an island, no Wi-Fi. A jet, so I can get off the island and bring the people that I want to come back on the island with me, with me on the jet. That would be one. Um, my chapstick.
Okay.
I can't go a day without my chapstick.
Are we going Blistex or Carmex?
Carmex.
Okay.
Um, hmm. Food.
Okay.
Food's pretty important.
I'm assuming carbonara.
Yeah, carbonara, pizza, the good spaghetti, all Italian, garlic bread.
Oh my God. All right. You just, I love it. I love it. All right. So the three things are a jet. The second thing is again
My Carmex.
Carmex. And the third is food, Italian food galore. All right. I love it. Well, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Bianca, so
Thank
much
you.
for doing this segment. I definitely felt like I got to know a lot more about you. Also, knowing that if we definitely see each other in the future, I'll have a fresh little thing of Carmex if you ever need some.
Thank you.
I don't know about the Italian food. And hopefully at a hotel, they'll have a piano and we can see if we can get a little demo from you. So let's do that.
And a dance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And now it brings me to the conclusion of our discussion and realizing that from beginning to end, I feel like I've got to know so much more about you and realizing too that, especially in our industry, a lot of us don't get these moments of having one-on-one conversations because we're so fixated on the event, having a good time, or if we do, we're usually in the hotel room with other people and just talking. And being able to have this conversation with you, I truly cherish it because knowing of your sister Clements and realizing how rich internally, and I mean rich inside your family is, from your parents always looking out for you, from your siblings always just being there for all of you, realizing how connected you all are with dance, especially you growing up doing hip hop. And big shout out to your sister Portia with her work with the Hip Hop Conservatory. And just realizing you, Bianca, seeing how far you've grown from going back 10 years ago, 2011, when your sister was just bringing you around till 2021, and you're now inspiring a new generation of dancers coming into our industry, and realizing, especially with your queen movement and the women that you are working with, how many women you are inspiring, and thinking about in the future when we do have congresses and festivals, how many people can look back on this interview and get to know you a lot more and have a better connection with you. And also just seeing the work you're creating day in and day out is phenomenal. So, again, I'm really amazed and thankful I can have this time with you. But at least before we do go, I would love to know if you have any last words for myself and the audience.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast alone, so I extremely appreciate it. And I appreciate you just giving this platform to so many artists, to allow them to tell their story, so we, including myself, can get to know everyone as well. For everyone that's watching, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Stay safe. Please be positive. Don't be afraid to reach out to a friend, a family member, maybe someone that you've always wanted to talk to that you've never been able to have an in-face or over the phone conversation, and see, hey, maybe if you would like good conversation, learn even more about me. Hey, Tiff. Let them know, like, I would love to talk to you, get to know you, or hey, I have some advice. If it's someone that inspires you, don't be afraid to ask for help or anything.
Absolutely. And definitely, Bianca, before we do go, I would love to get some contact information on how people maybe can reach you and see any future projects you have. But also, Bianca, after this, I would definitely say check out all of the comments that have been left behind as well. Definitely lots of them. But yes, before we do go, do you have any contact info on how people can reach you to see about future projects that you may have?
Yes, my Facebook is Bianca Derival. Instagram is Bianca D_official. Queen Movement is Queen Movement Official. Check our website out as well, www.queenmovementonline.com, as well as islandtouchonline.com.
Love it.
And CSBF, Chicago Salsa Bachata Festival.com, happening in August.
Awesome, awesome. And again, Bianca, thank you so much. I know you're having a great time. And it's funny, even before we go, somebody says, love hearing the sound of crickets in the background. That's how you know this is real. And, in Dominican Republic and the Caribbean, you got to do what you got to do. And this, again, this is a really genuine conversation and time that we've had. I thank you, Bianca. I thank Island Touch. I thank Queen Movement. I thank everyone for tuning in tonight. And definitely, like I tell every one of my guests, this is hopefully a part one to hopefully many more parts. And definitely would love to have you on in the future so you can discuss any future projects that you have coming up. And we can
I
also,
would love that.
actually get some more info about CSBF happening later this year. Because I know you and the Island Touch Collective definitely is looking out for the best interests of our community. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for you taking out your time. And definitely, I want you to stay safe and definitely can't wait to see you soon.
Thank you so much. Peace and love.
Peace and love, everyone. Thank you all. And everyone, have a great night and safe